excretion. The biological process involved in the removal of harmful metabolic waste from the body is called excretion. As in other processes like nutrition, respiration, and transportation, different organisms use different strategies to do excretion. In case of unicellular organisms, waste are removed from the body surface into the surrounding water by the process called diffusion. But in case of multicellular organisms, specialized organs are involved to perform excretion. Excretion in human beings. The chief organ that is involved in excretion is kidney. The excretory system in human beings consists of a pair of kidneys, that is, right kidney and left kidney, a pair of ureter, that is, right ureter and left ureter, a urinary bladder and a urethra. Now let's look at the structure of kidneys. Kidneys are reddish-brown, bean-shaped structures situated between the levels of last thoracic and third lumbar vertebra close to the dorsal-inner wall of the abdominal cavity. Each kidney of an adult human measures 10 to 12 cm in length, 5 to 7 cm in width, 2 to 3 cm in thickness with an average weight of 120 to 170 grams. Towards the center of the inner concave surface of the kidney is a notch called hilum, through which ureter, blood vessels and nerves enter. Inner to the hilum is a broad funnel-shaped space called the renal pelvis with projections called calyx. The outer layer of kidney is tough capsule. Inside the kidney there are two zones, the outer cortex and the inner medulla. The medulla is divided into few conical mass or medullary pyramids projecting into the calyces. The cortex extends between the medullary pyramids as renal columns called columns of Bertini. Each kidney has nearly 1 million complex tubular structures called nephrons, which are the functional units. Each nephron has two parts, the glomerulus and the renal tubule. Glomerulus is a tuft of capillaries formed by the afferent arteriole, a fine branch of renal artery. Blood from the glomerulus is carried away by the efferent arteriole. Now let's look at the structure of nephron. The renal tubule begins with a double-walled cup-like structure called Bowman's capsule, which encloses the glomerulus. Glomerulus along with the Bowman's capsule is called the Malpighian body or renal corpuscle. The tubule continues further to form a highly coiled network, proximal convoluted tubule (PCT). A hairpin-shaped Henle's loop is the next part of the tubule, which has descending and an ascending limb. The ascending limb continues as another highly coiled tubular regions called the distal convoluted tubule or DCT. The DCTs of many nephrons open into a straight tube called collecting duct, many of which converge and open into the renal pelvis through medullary pyramid in the calyces. The Malpighian corpuscle, PCT, DCT of the nephron are situated in the cortical region of the kidney, whereas the loop of Henle dips into the medulla. In majority of nephrons, the loop of Henle is too short and extends only very little to the medulla. Such nephrons are called cortical nephrons. In some of the nephrons, the loop of Henle is very long and runs deep into the medulla. These nephrons are called juxtamedullary nephrons. Now, let's look at the process of urine formation. The process of urine formation takes place in 3 steps. Number 1. Glomerular filtration. Number 2. Reabsorption. And number 3. Secretion. Number 1. Glomerular filtration. The nitrogenous waste such as the urea and uric acids are removed from the blood in the kidneys. The process of urine formation takes place in the nephron. Number 2. Reabsorption. Some substances like glucose, amino acids, salt and a measure of water which are filtered along with nitrogenous waste are reabsorbed. The amount of water reabsorbed depends on excess water and the dissolved waste along with water. And number 3. Secretion. The reabsorbed components of waste are secreted into the blood when the urine flows through the tubular part of the nephron in the kidney. Now let's look at the mechanism of urination. The urine formed in kidney enters into a long tube called ureter. The one end of the ureter is connected to the kidney and the other end is connected to the urinary bladder. Urine is stored in the urinary bladder until the pressure of urinary bladder leads the urge to pass urine. When it reaches the pressure to urge to pass, urine passes out through the urethra. How can we hold urine until it reaches to the urge to pass urine? As the urinary bladder is muscular and it is under the control of nervous system, we can actually control the urge to urinate. The process of passing out urine is called urination.
As a conclusion, the excretory system is a passive biological system that removes excess unnecessary waste from an organism so as to help maintain homeostasis within the organism and prevent damage to the body. It is responsible for the elimination of waste product of metabolism as well as other liquid and gaseous waste.